And welcome back to our breaking news coverage of the Karmelo Anthony trial this afternoon. A jury has found him guilty of murder in the Frisco track meet stabbing trial. And right now that case has moved straight into the sentencing phase. Both sides get 20 minutes now to present their closing arguments to the jury before the jury decides punishment in this case. And we just got an update from Jobin Punecker, who is actually there in the courtroom. He says that the prosecution has gone first here in these closing arguments and is talking to the jury about the victim in this case, Austin Metcalf. And he says that he will never have time with his parents. He'll never get his diploma or find his love. Jobin reports that the prosecution is showing a picture from April 2nd of 2025 when this stabbing at the track meet occurred. It shows coaches working on Austin Metcalf with chest compressions, and in the back of the picture you can see people praying. And again, this is a part of the closing argument going into the punishment phase. That jury will be deliberating that here in just a little while. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez and investigative reporter Tanya Iser are still at the courthouse there in McKinney, along with Keith Harris, attorney Keith Harris, who is giving us analysis this afternoon. Can we bring this a little bit up to speed here for our audience on air? I know that we've been talking about this on WFAA Plus in our streaming coverage this afternoon. The idea here that in this punishment phase, Anthony could get between 5 and 99 years in prison, but there is this possibility for the defense to seek 2 to 20 years in prison if they can prove sudden passion here. Can you all talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're going to let Keith take that question.
So again, it goes to the evidence that got presented at trial. The defense is going to make arguments of why they think Karmelo's actions lacked time for cool reflection. That's what they probably really want to hit on in punishment, because they do want to make sure that they give a compelling argument. Since the sudden passion is going to be in the charge, they want to try to show every way from the evidence in the case of how they can tie that in, because they want the jury to find that so that they're limited to the 2 to 20 year punishment range, and that they're not looking at the upper end, the 5 to 99 years or life in prison for just the murder.
And Jason, one of the things that you said was that Jobin talked about how the jury is right now seeing a picture of the paramedics working on Austin Metcalf. The jury also saw that in a body camera video, and it was probably one of the most impactful parts of this trial, because you can hear Hunter Metcalf, his twin brother, screaming in the background, "My brother, he's my life, he's my," it is very gut-wrenching. And then you hear people praying and saying, come on, Austin, and that had a very big impact on the jury. We saw jurors in that courtroom crying. So when they're showing that, they're also, remember, the jury can go back and look at that video if they want, and that is very impactful and had a big impact on them.
Okay, so as the defense here is trying to make this move to make that range more 2 to 20 years instead of 5 to 99 years, I guess I would ask our attorney here, our expert here, does it bode well at all for Karmelo Anthony that in the punishment phase the prosecution didn't put up any witnesses? As Rebecca was saying, the only witness in the punishment phase was Karmelo Anthony's mother, and that was for the defense. Does it bode well for him there that the jury didn't hear anything additional before they decide punishment?
Well, it bodes well for the defense to have the argument, hey, if he was a bad guy, you would have heard about it in punishment. The state would have brought that to you with other extraneous offenses. So it bodes well from the standpoint of what the defense is going to get to argue. But at the end of the day, the defense still has the case that they have. The jury has found Karmelo guilty of murder. And so at the end of the day, they're still going to have to assess a punishment, because as the state's going to argue, you have a dead kid here and you have someone that's not coming back, and you're going to see all of that stuff. So I think that it bodes well to argue you would have heard more stuff if he was that bad of a guy.